I'd like to introduce you all to our two participants. So Al, would you like to say hello?
Hi, my name is Al Mohanbari, and I'm a senior at Academy of Finance and Enterprise, which is located in New York, Queens.
Awesome. And I hate to do this. I do this all the time now. If you had to describe your co-prep experience in one word, what comes to mind?
One word would be hard, but I guess amazing.
All right, that's a good one.
The whole entire program was life-changing. I don't know how to compress that into one word, but amazing sounds right.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, especially on a rainy day here in New York. And speaking of distances here, we have Neve, who is a program implementer of the program in Ireland. So we're especially grateful to have you here while you visit the United States. So would you like to say hello?
Sure. Hello, everybody. It's great to be here in New York. My name is Neve Hamill. I'm a history professor, and I designed this program, which is over 3 weeks in Ireland for high school students who are really interested in Irish culture and being a global scholar. I hope that Al will agree that we make it a lot of fun. It might sound a bit dull when I say history professor, but what we do is we bring the history to life. We do some classes with you, and then we do these awesome field trips all around Ireland, where you can actually see and feel and experience what it's like to stand in an old castle or to visit an ancient burial grave. So we are out and about all around the Irish countryside. We also realize that high school students don't want to give up 3 weeks this summer unless there's something really worthwhile doing. So it does have 3 credits. You have 3 college credits when you finish for 3 weeks of a brilliant time. And then, of course, a lot of people don't know that the west coast of Ireland, where we're located, is fabulous for surfing. So surfing and kayaking and hiking, they are all included in the program. So it's a mixture of learning really interesting stuff, making lots of friends, thinking about maybe what comes next, getting your college credit, and having a really awesome time.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy to have you both here to kind of pick your brains a little bit and hear about it. So I guess, just to begin, Al, now that you're back, how do you find yourself describing this program to a friend?
Describing the program, I can't say everything in words because they have to experience it themselves. The program itself was so much fun, and I was able to learn so much about myself and the world around me because the history classes were in class, but we were able to go outside. Every single day we had at least one field trip somewhere new that we never saw before. We saw a new part of Ireland every single day, and I did not expect that originally going there.
Cool. And Neve, as kind of the designer of this program, what was some of your intent going into? What was a program that you wanted to create, and what are you happy about the program that exists right now?
So we have a lot of students there on campus at the time. We have students from Europe, from Spain, from Italy, France, we have students from Russia, students from the United States. We wanted to really encourage students to start to think critically about where they came from, their community, their background, who they were, all the things that they believed, and then compare it to somewhere else and share these stories with other people. And very often when you're a teenager, you might be thinking about things like college, but you might also be thinking about things like bullying or, just the conversations that go on in high school. And sometimes you can get into your own little bubble and you know where you're from and what goes on with your friends. And sometimes it's really good to get outside of that and see how other people get along. Maybe other people laugh more than you do. Maybe they have different priorities. And so the more that you see that, the more you can make up your mind about where you want to be and who you want to be and what you put up with and what you don't have to put up with. And sometimes it's hard to see that when you live in the same place all the time. So our aim was to get people together. We have one rule, and that is that no complaining, no whinging, no whining. It's not about me. It's about us. It's about a group. Everybody has to be happy and friendly, and we don't put up with any sort of bad humors. And when you set that environment and everybody has to be nice to each other, lots of good thinking processes come out. And we talked a lot about shared narratives. We talk about the experience of Irish people also Native American, African American, European, Hispanic. A lot of us have stories that we didn't realize connected with other people's stories. So that's where the classroom work works. But then, you know, in surfing and in all the things that you do in the evening, it's all about just making new friends from somewhere.
Very cool. And you mentioned kind of this focus on narrative and shared narratives and things like that. What are some parts of the program curriculum that you think speak to that? Or what's something that sticks out in terms of the schedule itself? What's something that participants actually do?
One of the big narratives in Irish history is the potato famine, when one crop failed and people began to get really hungry. And the only thing that they could do to survive was to emigrate. And so millions of Irish people emigrated. 1 million people came to the United States within 5 years. While we were talking about this in the classroom, one of our Italian students, Felicita, spoke about the immigrants that are now coming across from Africa, across the Mediterranean, into Italy. So we were able to have a very contemporary discussion about why do people leave? Why do they have to get away? Are they coming into your country to cause trouble, or are they coming so that they can survive and, you know, get jobs and take care of their children? These are really interesting conversations in today's world. So we were having contemporary conversations, even though we were using stories from the past.
Wow.
So that stuck out to me, listening to Felicita talk about what she saw, modern attitudes to immigrants, the language that you hear people use. And I explained to the students that 150 years ago, that same language was used about Irish people. Now it's used about different immigrants, but everybody who comes to the United States comes here for a better chance, a better life, not to turn things upside down. So we, you know, our students were very aware of what's been going on. So we had good conversations.
Very cool. And Al, what was the classroom like for you?
The classroom was like honestly fun. It did not feel like you were in a classroom. It feels like you were just like, everyone in the classroom felt like friends. Like our professor was fun. She made every class time experience fun. Like I did not have one bad time in being in there.
Cool. And what's
as good as it gets, really?
Yeah, and it's incredible because there's 136 hours of academic classroom time. So it's nice that that's actually, you know, fun too. You know, speaking of kind of some of the fun elements, what were some of those things that you participated in that you look back on now and you're like, whoa, that was a fun summer?
Surfing is a big one. Like, so I didn't know how to swim, and I went surfing, and that was my first time doing that. Was the first day we did that, I was like, wow. But then I told my instructor I didn't know how to swim, and in 3 days time, he helped me learn the basics of swimming, and then he helped me learn how to surf in that amount of time of 3 weeks. And I never pictured myself surfing, standing on a board and riding a wave, but I guess I did that, and it was a great time. And horseback riding, kayaking, and we also got to play Gaelic football. And I never knew that sport existed until I went to Ireland, and it was such a great experience being able to play that type of sport.
What is Gaelic football?
So it's the national sport of Ireland, right? So you get a ball, you run with it, and every 5 steps you have to kick the ball up, and then you can run with it again until you go to the other side.
All right. That sounds awesome.
It's an ancient game, and it's the most popular sport at home.
Fun. So now you have like a team that you play on, you know, I assume. Cool.
I think if there's a Gaelic association in New York, I think they need to hear about Al and recruiting.
Oh yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about like the day-to-day schedule? Or what were some of the things that you found yourself doing on a day-to-day basis?
So we would wake up around I would wake up around like 5, and then I was allowed to go. So I was allowed to go running in the morning, and then before that, I went to class. I went to class at 7:30, and then class ended around 9, and then we went on. We picked up lunch, and then we went on our daily field trip.
Cool. Awesome. And I guess to shift a little bit, for any parents out there, safety is always a big issue, and it's something that AFS takes as a huge priority for us. So I'm wondering if, Neve, if you might be able to talk about, what are some things that you have in place to ensure the safety of the program from a participant point of view, or, what are the accommodations like? Could you speak a little bit in that regard?
Sure. We've been doing this program now for 22 years. And I've been in charge of the program for 22 years. And most of the staff that work with us have been there for 22 years. So when we begin, and we work all year round, this is not a summer program, it's not a temporary thing. This is a school that's in place all of the time. And we have high school students in July, but the rest of the year we have college students and university students. So it's a permanent setup, which is not always the case for summer programs. Over the years, we've had to do programs for the Irish government and for various schools and universities. So believe me, there is a file about this thick with health and safety and quality assurance mechanisms that we are happy to share with any of the parents. First of all, Ireland, traveling to Ireland, getting a flight. Ireland is a very safe country at the moment. It's English speaking and it's known for its friendliness and hospitality. So parents should feel secure that their students are going to end up in a safe country and a friendly country. And then we work very hard to make sure that our campus is safe and friendly. All of our staff, everybody who works for us, fully trained in health and safety, in what we call child protection, which is the protection of minors, which our students will be. They are all trained in their respective disciplines. So if they're a surf instructor, they have a qualification as a surf instructor and a lifeguard. And they're not allowed to participate. We don't hire interns, part-time people to help. Everybody who's there has a full-time job in doing what they do. So that should reassure people. All our teaching staff are professionals. Our food is prepared in accordance with health and safety. You have your meals in restaurants. We don't rustle up tuna sandwiches for people ourselves. All those conditions are in place, and we work really hard to make sure that we give parents lots of information before they send their darlings abroad. Every day we do a Facebook post, blogging, so that they can tune in every day and actually share in what's going on. So it's parents worry. And they worry more when the students have a really, really good time because they're wondering, well, what's going on? I didn't hear from them all day. But when you can tune in and see the happy faces every day, it really makes people happy. And there's a track record. There's 22 years and hundreds of parents to speak to. And we're happy to put new parents in touch with experienced parents and students like Al and many other hundreds of students who've done it. And I think nothing is like word of mouth.
Terrific. Well, we obviously appreciate it as well. Speaking about, location, could you tell us about County Donegal, and, why County Donegal as a location? Is it relevant to its theme or some of the learning objectives? You just describe the location of the program?
There's so much history behind that one small area. And I learned so much about the area that I never knew before. And right near our campus is the beach, so we were able to surf there. So there was a rich history and the surfing hotspot of Donegal, and I found that so amazing.
Cool.
And we chose a rural location. It is loaded in history. We're also quite close to Northern Ireland, so we're able to take the students and. Part of this Global Scholars Program is conflict resolution and peacemaking. And Northern Ireland has a big story. Obviously, it's 20 years since the Good Friday Agreement. So we're a community that understands how to be peacemakers. And when we're talking to students, and again, and particularly of students who might come from minority backgrounds, peacemaking, how do you have conversations with other people and other communities? That's a big part of the program. And it's a big part of making sure that everybody feels welcome. This is not just a program for people of Irish background. It's people of Native American background, African American, Hispanic. Everybody should feel welcome there because we do quite a lot of work on talking about the Irish experience, but how does that compare with other experiences around the world? So being located where we are in the northwest of Ireland that has this background of resolution is significant.
Incredible. Well, I want to go. I also want to turn it back to you all who are joining us here on Facebook Live or our Zoom webinar. If you do have any questions, I would ask of you to type that into the comments box, and I can also ask any questions you might have to me or Al. So as they come in, I'll see if we can address those as well. But I guess, bluntly, what were some of your favorite parts about your time abroad?
Meeting new people and surfing. Like,
nice.
Like, honestly, I went there to make friends, but I feel like I made more like a family type thing, because I met so many people from different backgrounds that I never knew, that I never got exposed to, and I felt like meeting them gave me a new insight of like how I see things. And I still text them till like now.
Very cool. So it's always great to be in a situation where you're having a new shared experience where everything is new to everyone. I find that I've made so many friends in that way, so I think that's awesome. We have a question as well from Tachina. So what is the application process like? And I can actually address that a little bit. So if you go to AFS-USA.org, study abroad, you can find Ireland as one of our study abroad global prep options. Open up an application there, and then you'll be able to begin your AFS application. So it's typically pretty brief. For this program in particular, we do require that there's 2 letters of recommendations from an educator, and you'll also need to submit your transcript. Because this is a college credit program, accredited through an American university, we do have a few of those recommendations. But otherwise, once you open an application, you will be able to speak with an AFS study abroad specialist who'll be more than happy to help you through that process, answer any questions that you or your parents might have, and will guide you through that. So if you're interested, you can check out our website, and the process can be relatively short if you get your things in, but be sure to apply quickly because this program might fill up quick. So I would definitely recommend that. Thank you for that question. All right. Let's see. Speaking of college credit and that process, could you perhaps elaborate on what college credit means within the context of this program? How does that work in relation to this program?
Okay, so a lot of students enjoy doing a study program or study abroad program where they're learning a lot. But it's become more important now to try and measure that or evaluate it in some way. If you've got somebody who spends 3 weeks doing a study abroad program with AFS, they should, when they apply for college, be recognized that they've given up the time and the energy to go and learn something new. Sometimes this would be just written on a transcript. But as people get more and more interested in good resumes and college applications, it's nice that this commitment that they make one summer in high school is actually recognized by the colleges. So there's a lot of early college programs now, and students are doing dual enrollment. So summer camp went that way as well. And you can do a hiking summer camp, or you can do horse riding. But if you choose to do something that's educational, then universities will recognize that, and they'll recognize the time that you put in your summer months. So Drew University in New Jersey, which runs this program, said, yeah, if they're going to do all this time in the classroom with me, then we should recognize it. We are prepared to give 3 college credits, and we recognize that you have done all of this learning during the summer. But on the other side, it's really, if you do a course in college, you might spend 10 weeks or 12 weeks of a semester going to classes and doing assignments. So it's a lovely way to get 3 college credits and still have awesome fun.
Yeah.
So it's win-win for everybody.
Awesome. We have another question from Justin. And perhaps Al, could you tell us a little bit about what your accommodations were like during the program?
Okay, so you'll have a roommate, either one, you won't be staying by yourself. So it'll be you and either a partner. I had just one partner, and I did not I grew so close to him because we stayed there for 3 weeks, and you make great bonds. And there were, so either you stay together, or there will be 3 people together, or 6 people. But that 6 people room was just only one person. It's like only one room had 6 people in it. So it's either you with one person or 2 other people.
Cool, cool. And now that you have kind of returned from the program, what do you think that you're walking away with? What are some of the lessons that you learned that you're also kind of recognizing now in your home community, or recognizing in yourself?
I started noticing all the little stuff more because so when I came back, I had to pick up something on the very first day I came back, and I was walking down my street and I realized the dogs barking or the lady yelling out her window, and it felt so weird. It felt new to me, but it's not new. So I realized that little stuff matters, and you realize that too when you come back.
Totally, yeah. Whenever you're having that intercultural experience, you're kind of coming back wearing different contact lenses. Yeah, right? Cool. One question, again, if there is a application deadline for the program. The application deadline is a rolling admissions. So we'll be working first come, first serve. So make sure that you do get your application in before the program fills up. And if there are also scholarships available. AFS-USA does have a significant amount of scholarships available. So please contact our scholarships department. And if you do open an application, you can ask your study abroad specialist about some of these scholarships who can, and they can best direct you to one that might be applicable for your region, your area, or otherwise. So I hope that also answers your question. We have another question from Joe. Al, what was your favorite trip that you took during the program?
Going to dairy, because I never leave my house without wearing the dairy bracelet, because I had such a great time going there, because I got to see so there was a war there. There was a war, right?
Yeah.
There was a war, and you could still see some of the aftermath there. And there's so much. There were paintings on the walls. I found those paintings were like 10 times. They were on a huge wall, and it felt so nice seeing that and being able to expose to a new culture like that.
Very cool. Well, we are running close to the end of our time here, so this will be, I think, will be our last question of this session. If we didn't get to one of your questions, though, studyabroad@afsusa.org is the email address that you can contact to have all your questions answered. But the easiest way would just be open up an application, and that will connect you to your study abroad advisor here. But I guess for you, Al, what would you say to your pre-program self before you went to this? What advice would you give to yourself in fall 2017?
When it gets hard, keep on doing it. Because overall, the whole entire program was worth it. And there was I'm not gonna lie, there was some rough patches, but overall, if you are able to get over that and submit in your application and get into the program, I guarantee you it's worth your while.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you coming today. And Neve, do you have any other, I guess, parting thoughts or parting advice that you might give to someone who's considering going on this program?
I think that all I would say is if you're considering a road trip, find a way and go and do it. It will change your life.
Great. Well, on behalf of AFS-USA, thank you for joining us today. I really enjoyed hearing both of your perspectives. So if you are interested in this program, the dates are July 9th through July 30th, 2019. So we'll hope to see you there. If you do have any questions, please contact us at studyabroad@afsusa.org. But otherwise, we'll hopefully see you in Ireland. So thanks, and good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What do you mean rough patch?